Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. Hope you're having a fantastic day. In fact, happy first day of fall. That's right, it's officially here. Fall has landed on the calendar, and in order to celebrate, my bestie Lisa and I decided to share our top 6 Scentsy wax melt recommendations and favorite fall warmer. So this is our usual seasonal collab, and we figured it might be kind of fun to share it on the first day of fall. Both Lisa and I are fall girlies through and through, so we have both been waiting for this day to arrive. Honestly, I have been living in fall just in my own head since basically the beginning of August because I just can't with summer. But anyway, it's finally here, and this is one of our favorite collabs to share each season. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my top 6 wax melt recommendations, plus a bonus. I'm cheating, but it's fine. And I'm going to share my favorite fall warmer for this year. So Lisa will be doing the same over on her channel. I will have the link for Lisa's video at the very top of the description box. Definitely check out her selections. I know I'm excited to go watch her video because we don't tell each other what we are picking. And it's always just kind of like a fun, silly little thing that we do where it's just kind of fun to see what the other person selects and see maybe what the crossover is or what we differ on. Honestly, Lisa and I are very, very similar in our home fragrance preferences. There's a few things that we have some different opinions on, but for the most part, we share a love for a lot of the same fragrances. So yeah, it's just kind of fun to see what each other selects as the top recommendations. And yeah, so that's what we're doing today. Lisa is a consultant. I am not. If you need a Scentsy consultant, I would obviously recommend my best friend because she's one of like the best people on the planet. But if you would prefer to have a consultant that is somewhat local to you, you can actually go to the main Scentsy website and you can type in your zip code, and it will actually spit out all of the consultants that are in your area, and then you can kind of go from there researching who you maybe feel connection with and then find someone local to you. Lisa is not local to me. I live in the Portland area and she lives in Boise, Idaho, so we're a little ways apart from each other, not as far apart as we used to be, but still enough to where like we kind of have to plan things if we want to get together, which is still a major bummer, but we deal with it. Anyway, I'm really excited about this particular video, like I said, and I cannot wait to see Lisa's version. If you're not already subscribed to her and you love home fragrance, especially Scentsy, go check her out. She is just a wonderful person to get to know. She's got a lot of knowledge about Scentsy specifically, and just is a genuinely good human being. So I like to introduce you guys to good human beings, and she is definitely one of them, so check her out. Anyway, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into it, and sorry that I cheated, Lisa, but we usually both always cheat. So anyway, let's get into it, and I'm gonna start with the recommendations for the wax melts first, and then I'm gonna show you my warmer at the end. I will also have an alternative for my warmer because yes, the one that I'm gonna be showing is unfortunately currently discontinued, so I have an alternative for you there. So anyway, let's get into it. When it comes to sharing my fall favorites, I feel like for me, fall is always the one season where I have the hardest time really narrowing things down because there are a number of really great releases from Scentsy, especially during the fall. So this was a tough one, but I think I selected some really amazing recommendations, and I would love to know what you think about these particular ones and what your top 6 or 7, if you want to cheat, suggestions would be in the comments down below. I can't wait to see what your guys' suggestions are. All right, so the number one fragrance that I'm gonna start with is one that I just started actually warming downstairs this morning. Yesterday when I was picking my bars that I wanted to include in this video, this one I kept going back to, but I realized I hadn't actually warmed it yet. So I thought I might do that just to see what the overall performance is, and it's a great performer, so no issues there. It's the Buttered Pumpkin Dream. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so delicious. This is really rich and decadent. And you know what? I get a little bit of an interesting citrus note in the back of this one, but it kind of has the same really delicious, authentic gourmand yumminess that I get from Almond Croissant. Almond Croissant is one of those Scentsy fragrances that every time I stick my nose into it, it just smells so much like the real thing that it makes my mouth water. I have the exact same reaction to this fragrance, even though this is not Almond Croissant, but everything about this particular scent just smells so rich and decadent and authentic. This is a really nice, like, sweet sugar pumpkin note here. There's the perfect amount of, like, rich, creamy butteriness, the perfect amount of fall spice. And there's this little hint of citrus in the background that just really kind of makes this different from some other pumpkin fragrances. In fact, I've got another pumpkin recommendation coming up here. But this one is definitely unique in its own right and just really special. And I think Scentsy did a fantastic job on this one. This is one of those where I wish I would have just started out with a few of these in my cart, because I can already tell you that I'm going to be placing another order sometime soon because, I don't know, I think this might be borderline club worthy. It is really insanely good, and the strength and throw performance it's phenomenal. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I don't have enough thumbs for this fragrance. You need to smell this one. If you have a consultant, get a hold of them, get a sample of that, and be prepared to be wowed. It is amazing. All right, this next one I am willing to bet was probably in Lisa's video, but we'll see. I feel like it usually is, and this time it's gonna be in mine because I actually just finished the candle of this particular fragrance from Scentsy yesterday. I didn't have a great experience with the candle, so I don't think the Scentsy candles are for me, at least yet. I think they can go back to the drawing board and improve the overall strength and throw, and I think they could probably have a pretty good product. But I still think they're gonna need to revisit the price point, especially since they're not gonna do sales, but that is not what this video is about. This video is about wax melts. So let's talk about Cider Mill. Oh, you guys, it is just a classic fall cider that has everything that it needs without anything extra that just isn't necessary here. You get a juicy, delicious, sweet apple that definitely comes across as like a true apple cider. You get those perfect fall spices. You've got that cinnamon floating throughout here. That little bit of like a mulled spice type vibe. It's absolute perfection. This has been around forever and for good reason. It's a great performer and it's got a lot of like oomph behind it, I guess strength. It's got a lot of strength to it. So it just always makes my house smell absolutely amazing in just a matter of minutes. As soon as the full wax pool forms of this particular scent, I feel like it just pumps out fragrance like nobody's business. This has always been a great performer, and if that's what you're looking for from Scentsy, and you're looking for a great apple cider scent, you're gonna have to try this one. I'm sure you already have. Like I said, it's been around forever, but it is mwah, chef's kiss. All right, also, I did burn the pumpkin roll candle as well. Didn't feel much different about that one than I did the cider mill candle, but I tell you what, I still love the pumpkin roll fragrance, and it is going to be my third recommendation here. I think as far as basic like pumpkin scents go, this is one that you just can't, I don't know, you can't argue with it. It is basic. You know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Pumpkin Cupcake from Bath & Body Works, which for a number of years was like one of my holy grail fall candles. Then they kind of did away with it for a little while. Then it came back for a little bit. I don't think it's back this year. In fact, I don't think that I've seen it, but Pumpkin Cupcake was great. And this smells so much like it to my nose. I would love to know if you feel the same way. It's just a really delicious, not overly spicy, but very creamy, like a lot of like vanilla cream running throughout this pumpkin. Very rich, very decadent. Again, super straightforward. This is not an exotic pumpkin scent, but this is a fabulous pumpkin scent. If you're just looking for a basic pumpkin fragrance that's going to give you a great performance, you can't go wrong with this one. So that would be number 3. Let's go on to number 4. Now, number 4 is another apple fragrance. And here's the thing. So this is Caramel Apple Craze. I am actually not a huge overall fan of caramel scents. I feel like Scentsy does caramel really well a lot of times. In fact, I have Stroopwafel Delight in my Scentsy club. I only have 1 bar of it in there. I used to have 2 or 3, but then I scaled it back, and that was definitely a regret on my part because in terms of caramel scents, that one is absolute perfection. Same goes for this caramel scent here. Normally, I find it very cloying, overly sweet, way too sticky, just overwhelming, too much. Oftentimes, caramel just takes over a fragrance. I don't like that. I like a hint of it kind of in the background, but when it becomes the main star of the show, that just becomes a huge pass for me. This, I feel like there is so much focus on this delicious, juicy, sweet apple note in here that the caramel, it's not an afterthought. It's definitely like purposeful. Obviously, you need caramel to get that caramel apple scent, but this one is just so well done. I feel like I also smell a lot of that like apple skin in this particular fragrance. So the skin doesn't smell quite as sweet. Don't get me wrong, you're still getting a good amount of sweetness here, but it's not overly sweet. Like I said, this doesn't go cloying at all, and it smells really authentic. It smells like you went to the fair, you bought a caramel apple, and you cut it up, and you're eating it, and you have that delicious, like, mouth-watering experience. It's really authentic. So honestly, all of these so far, and these remainder of other 3 fragrances that I'm going to be mentioning here, they just are all incredibly authentic. And I think that's one of the reasons that I really appreciate Scentsy wax melts is that the vast majority of the time, they execute a lot of their fragrances in a way that just like mirrors the real thing in a way that is pretty amazing, I think. So definitely a great authentic option here. If you need a good transitional fragrance, if you're not ready to get into all of the pumpkin, I would say this Caramel Apple Craze and the Cider Mill would be my top 2 like transitional recommendations. These 2 also pair really well together if you're wondering. So you should try that combo. It is delightful. All right, next is, now this one comes in the Harvest collection. I almost just grabbed the entire Harvest collection and put it in this video because I adore that particular collection. I stand by the words that that is the best seasonal collection that Scentsy has ever done. I have liked a lot of their other like seasonal limited edition collections a lot in the past, but usually there's 1, maybe 2 scents that I'm just kind of like about. Not with this one. Every single fragrance is top-notch perfection, and this Apple Harvest Dreams, again, Another great transitional fragrance here. It's so good, you guys. This is a really like tart and tangy apple here. You smell those kind of mulled spices as well in this one. It kind of almost reminds me of Bath and Body Works pumpkin apple. It's very, very similar to that. But I would say even more authentic on the apple note, which, listen, I think Bath and Body Works does a great pumpkin apple. But this, I think, really does smell even more authentic than the apple that they use over at Bath and Body Works in their candle. This is so good. It's perfectly tart, perfectly tangy. It's not overly sweet. It's not overly spicy. And it's such a good performer. You guys, this is such a good performer. And not that this matters, but I also really like the color of the wax. So, anyway, this is like the first one that isn't a shade of orange. So let's hear it for the green. Let's go back to another bland color here, I guess you could say. And this one also reminds me of a Bath and Body Works fragrance. This is Gingerbread Pecan Waffles. Okay, I really think that this smells like the pumpkin pecan waffles from Bath and Body Works. Oh, I think it's so similar. I really don't think this smells much like gingerbread to my nose at all. This one has a really good performance. It's so rich and yummy. Listen, these are all gourmands. I just realized that. I'm recommending all gourmands. Sorry if you're not a gourmand person, but that is definitely what I just naturally gravitate towards. I should have probably recommended at least one bar in a different category, but sorry, not this go around. This one is so, again, authentic and delicious, but it really does smell more pumpkin to me than it does gingerbread. Not overly sweet, not like overdone in terms of the spices, just delicious. This is delicious, and also one that honestly you might see again when we do our holiday version or winter. I think we're just gonna do like a Christmas version of this particular video. That's usually what we end up doing. So you're probably gonna see this one again, so don't be surprised. It's really good. All right, and here's my bonus. And I really mostly wanted to recommend things that were currently available because it is frustrating to have someone share a favorite and, you know, talk it up and then you not be able to get your hands on it. But I will say, I talked up Scentsy Apples and Oats like nobody's business for quite a while. And then it came back with the most recent Bring Back My Bar that we just had this past summer. And I told you guys again and again throughout the month, you should get this. You should put it in your club. You should keep it there forever. Don't ever delete it because you're gonna regret it. Apples and Oats is such an amazing fall fragrance. I've always called this my fancy lady, like, oatmeal fragrance. You really do smell the oats in here. You get a gorgeous baked apple note. Again, the authenticity with this one is just through the roof, like absolute perfection. I don't think they could have done a better job with this fragrance. It is so delicious. So yeah, I'm gonna mention it because I told you you should get it. I told you should put it in your club. Hopefully you listened because it is that good. And now is the time of year where this fragrance is going to shine. Honestly, I will randomly warm this throughout other times of the year as well. But the Apples and Oats is one of my favorites starting in the early fall throughout the remainder of the holiday season. I love apple scents during the holidays as well. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of these in my empties videos, especially since it did come back with this last Bring Back My Bar. I did up the number of bars that I had in my club so that I get at least, I can't remember if I upped it by 1 or 2 bars, but moral of the story is I have a little backup stash now, so I'm gonna be enjoying the heck out of it this year because I can. All right, you guys. Now let's talk about my favorite fall warmer. Now, this is one that I recently was able to purchase a few of during a clearance sale, so it's not currently available. If it ever comes back, you need to snag it up. This is one that I thought would be beautiful, not only for the fall, but also, again, during the holidays. When I purchase just home decor in general, and I do consider my warmers to be home decor purchases, I really try to pick things that I think can be used during multiple seasons of the year. I have very few warmers, with the exception of, I guess, like my pumpkin warmers, which definitely scream fall more than anything else. But for the most part, I try to select warmers that I can use at least 2 seasons out of the year. And that was the case with this one. I thought it was perfect for fall. I thought it was perfect for Christmas. And when it finally came back in the clearance section, I went ham, because a fun fact is that I actually had Lisa on the hunt to find me at least 2 of these warmers from some other consultants in her consultant orbit, because I was so desperate to get my hands on the full-size version of this, because I have the small mini one and I loved it so much. I was like, Lisa, I'm gonna put you on a mission. And she was looking for several months, and then one day sent me a text and she was like, dude, you're not gonna believe it. It's in the clearance section, go now. And I did, I went and I bought 3. So this is the one that's not currently open. So I am using this one for the fall. This 3rd one is going to go out with my Christmas decor. So yeah, it's still living in the box for right now, but let's take a look at it. It looks a little boring. Listen, this doesn't look like much when it's not lit. You really have to get the bulb in this one. It's so beautiful. First of all, I love the texture. It has this almost like frosted or raindrop texture. There we go. There we have a focus. Do you see that? So I really like how bumpy it is. And I love the silhouette of the trees. This just comes to life when you plug it in. Also, there are 2, you can't really see them, but there are 2 deer that are standing off in the background here. And it looks so pretty at night, you guys. Honestly, this warmer is an absolute stunner. And if it, for whatever reason, ever pops back up in the clearance section, just get it. I'm telling you, it is one of those where it is just 100% worth it. It's an absolute beauty, and I am going to enjoy the heck out of these warmers for many falls and holidays to come. So yeah, if you run across it, you're definitely going to want to pick that up. But here's the thing. It's obviously not readily currently available, and I just got the Amber Waves warmer. That's what it's called, right? Hold on, please. It's still sitting off to the side here. Yes, this is the Amber Waves. I still haven't plugged it in downstairs, so that's good because now I can show it to you. But yeah, I would say if you're in the market for a new fall warmer that could also work beautifully throughout the remainder of the year, you cannot go wrong with this one. This is one of the few, like, truly, I feel like, seasonless warmers that Scentsy has available. It's so pretty. It has so much texture. This amber color is stunning. Perfect for fall, perfect for the holidays, but also I think a really nice option throughout the winter, the spring, and even the summer. I love this one. So yeah, anyway, this would be my recommendation for something that's currently available, but my true pick was the Frosted Night Warmer. It's so pretty. I could not believe when she texted me, because literally I was on Lisa's rear end for several weeks being like, do you have an update for me? Did you find the warmer? My apologies, felt a little coughing attack coming on there, and I thought I'd spare you. Anyway, I was on Lisa for several weeks about whether she had located that warmer for me or not, and she just was not able to find it. But when she texted me that it was on the website, I immediately ran to my computer and ordered. It's such a beautiful piece, you guys. Anyway, but the Amber Waves is equally as beautiful. Obviously, different style, but still a great option for the fall and honestly beyond. So those were my picks. I am now off to watch Lisa's video today. Join me over there in her comments. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you are new from Lisa's channel and you're interested in sticking around, I'd love for you to subscribe. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys being here today. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.